Hello mate, my name's Gareth and welcome to Wrestling. Today we're going to be looking at 5 dream matches for AEW Revolution. I'll be presenting you the matches that I would personally like to see, why I think they could and should happen, as well as fancy booking the result and what that could mean moving forward beyond Revolution. I've not selected matches like Hangman vs Adam Cole or Britt Baker vs Thunder Rosa because they're just a little bit too obvious. But these are 5 dream matches for AEW Revolution. First up, we've got Hook taking on Cutie Marshall. I really feel like Hook would be an excellent way to heat up the crowd when they're dying down towards the later stages of Revolution. Think Paul White versus Cutie Marshall from All Out, except people actually care. You want a hot crowd for the main event, and Hook is the perfect shagger to get them all riled up. I also think QT is the perfect guy to take the beating. People love to hate him, and he bumps well. He is also Hook's main trainer, so nobody will know how to make Hook look better than QT Marshall does. In theory, this is the best way to make Hook look awesome without having to have him face a top talent like Kenny Omega. AEW have already put some effort into building this match, with Hook attacking and also disrespecting QT after matches, and I do think that this is actually a match that AEW will put on for Revolution. Continue this build. It doesn't need to be anything that deep, a little segment on Dynamite before Revolution where QT challenges Hook. And I do think it should be QT who challenges Hook, because then Hook can just come out and beat him up, not dignifying QT with a verbal response. Don't even entertain the idea that QT Marshall could win. You don't want to make the mistake of presenting these two as equals, or doing a master versus student story. No, this is just Hook killing QT and everyone laughing at him. Hook should absolutely take pleasure in beating the living piss out of QT Marshall, but no more than 6 or 7 minutes, if that, should pass before Hook eventually chokes him out. From there, I would get someone to beat Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship, someone who could believably beat Starks, but also believably lose to Hook. Dante Martin perfectly fits the bill. After Starks drops the title, Team Taz then make it their mission to regain the FTW Championship. Powerhouse Hobbs fails, Ricky Starks moves on to other championships, so Taz sends Hook, who brings the FTW Championship back to Team Taz and defends it in unsanctioned competition, restoring its legacy. The key to the matches being unsanctioned is it means that Hook won't be climbing the rankings for other titles, he will just be left to develop as a wrestler whilst doing something that truly means a lot to his character, continuing his father's legacy. Whatever is happening between Andrade and Darby Allin is an absolute mess, but I love it. Andrade wants to buy Darby's services from Sting for some reason, I don't know why, but it's funny. And now, after Allin vs Sami Guevara on the most recent Dynamite, Andrade has stolen both of Sami's TNT Championship belts. As I say, this is a bit of a mess, but what better way to put a bow on this thing than to give these men the match which, traditionally, is the biggest mess, a 3-way match for Sami Guevara's TNT Championship. My logic for putting on this match is that, ideally, you'd want to put all 3 of these guys on pay-per-view, and you also need matches that are essentially spot fest on these big shows to hype up the crowd and keep the fans watching at home focused on the action. AEW pay-per-views are always long, but matches like these, placed somewhere in the middle of the card, always help the show to run smoothly. It feels silly for me to fantasy book any spots, because the things these 3 could do together are likely things that I couldn't even imagine. What I'm basically saying is this match would bang. In terms of who should win, I would say that Andrade leaves this match as the new TNT champion. However, I have an idea for my next match which would clash with that result, so I'm giving Sami a big win at Revolution as his final TNT championship defense. I'm making this video before Rampage, so by the time you watch this, you will probably know whether Dante Martin or Powerhouse Hobbs qualified for the Face of the Revolution ladder match. However, I have to guess, so I think Dante Martin would be more fun in this match. Plus, we've already got Wardlow and Keith Lee in there, we have enough big men. So with Lee, Wardlow and Dante in this match, we have 3 more spots to fill, including a Joker spot. I think it makes sense to put Ricky Starks in the match if Hobbs isn't in there, especially as I see Dante vs Ricky as the endpoint of that feud, so this match can let that rivalry keep bubbling over. It also makes a lot of sense to me that Scorpio Sky would also be in this match. He's been talking about the TNT Championship for months now, and he won the match last year. So now we just need to decide on a Joker, and this is where the excitement around this match sits for me, and I have 3 main ideas for this. First, the most unlikely option, Cody Rhodes. I don't think that Cody leaving us will work, and if it is, then him returning would be a great way to get him even more hated, but I guess there is a less than 1% chance that it happens, so I'm just throwing it out there. Johnny Gargano is the next option, and this one is a lot more realistic. However, I do feel like he's going to take a bit more time out of wrestling, with his wife Candice LeRae pregnant and giving birth around this time. Also, I think they'll save Gargano for a bigger debut spot. That leaves me with Swerve Strickland, who I think is the most likely option for the Joker. He fits this type of match, a ladder match, and he's a former tag team partner of Keith Lee on the Indies, so that would be another nice note to this match. Who wins this match is another interesting talking point. Wardlow, Keith Lee and the Joker are the people who I think are in contention. My prediction for the Joker is Swerve Strickland, and whilst I'd be happy if he won the Face of the Revolution ladder match, I'm not sure that it's realistically the route that AEW are going to go, nor is it the direction I would go with. AEW have already set up the story beat of what would happen if Wardlow won. MJF would claim he gets Wardlow's title shot, and that might be what it takes for Wardlow to turn on MJF. However, I do feel like a lot of people would be disappointed if Keith Lee didn't win, and I really do feel like that right there is your next TNT champion. Have Sammy Guevara win the triple threat, and then have Keith Lee take the title off Sami a few weeks after Revolution. That's personally what I would like to see. A major criticism AEW have faced on multiple occasions is that they've only booked one women's match on their pay-per-view shows, and with good reason. It's something that has happened 9 out of AEW's 13 pay-per-views. And with all the improvements AEW have made in their women's division, it would be a shame if they continued the trend of just one women's match per pay-per-view. There are various possibilities for a second women's match. Jamie Hayter vs Mercedes Martinez has been teased on TV as of late, and Chris Statlander vs Layla Hirsch has been building since late 2021. However, I've come up with a third option. For me, there's no woman on the AEW roster more deserving of a pay-per-view spot than Serena Deeb. Particularly since her heel turn, she has been one of the best characters in the division and is undoubtedly one of, if not the, best women's wrestler between the ropes in AEW. On last week's episode of Dynamite, Deeb started a 5-minute rookie challenge where she challenges any unproven wrestler to step up and challenge her. Some people have speculated that Hikaru Shida or a debuting wrestler could use a mask to deceive Serena Deeb and beat her in the 5-minute challenge. However, I just think there's better ways to debut wrestlers, and there's better ways to continue the Deeb-Shida rivalry, and I've thought of a way to use this challenge to get a new wrestler over. And that new wrestler is AQA. She had a good showing against Jade Cargill and has loads of potential to be a future star in this division. She's also small, flexible and quick, the perfect set of attributes to have a sprint match with Serena Deeb. AQA taking Deeb to the time limit before losing a hard-fought rematch on TV, that would be a great way of getting her over. Just think of what AEW did with Chris Jericho and Jungle Boy back in 2019. And from there, Deeb can continue to build her record. Beat Hikaru Shida in their 5th match to win the series before having a feud with Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. On the latest episode of Dynamite, the House of Black teased the arrival of another member to their faction. It's heavily speculated, if not all but confirmed, that this will be the former Buddy Murphy, now Buddy Matthews. It was also announced on this Dynamite that Kings of the Black Throne would once again face Pac and Penta in a tag match next week. That's a match that has already happened, and this is what made me think, why? And then it hit. This is where Buddy will debut and help Kings of the Black Throne get another win in the tag division. However, that will prompt Rey Fenix to return, thus setting up a trios match between the two sides, Death Triangle versus House of Black. I know some people will be surprised by the idea that Rey Fenix could return this quickly after his brutal injury on January 6th. However, Rey actually announced that it was only a dislocated elbow and there were no broken bones. This is an injury that only takes about 6 weeks to recover from. So it's perfectly feasible that Fenix could be back by next week for a return that isn't too physical, and knowing Rey Fenix, he will probably want to wrestle as soon as possible. I am confident that we will see this match. The only doubt in my mind is whether it happens at Revolution or on TV after the pay-per-view. Who knows? I would have Death Triangle win this match after losing 2 traditional tag team matches, allow Buddy Matthews to go into the singles division whilst Malachi Black and Brody King pursue tag team gold. And keep building that trios record for Death Triangle, so hopefully they can be major contenders to be the first trios champions later in the year. So, those are my 5 dream matches for AEW Revolution 2022. But what matches would you be most excited for? What are your dream matches? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe for more AEW content coming every week. Cheers, mate.